You ever wonder why some men, not the richest, not the youngest, not even the best looking, somehow capture the heart of a confident, mature woman? It's because real women, the kind who've lived, loved, and learned, crave something deeper. You see, as women grow older, they stop chasing butterflies. They want peace. They want a man whose presence feels like home, not a battlefield. And yet, so many young men today are chasing validation, competing with filters and illusions, not realizing the quiet power that makes a woman truly fall for a man. Older women secretly love men who make them feel safe, not by money or dominance, but by emotional depth. They love men who understand when to lead and when to listen. Men who can sit in silence without trying to prove anything. Because when a woman senses that calm, steady energy, the kind that says, "I'm not going anywhere," she melts. So today, let's talk about that. About the unspoken language of emotional power, integrity, and grounded masculinity that draws women in, especially those who've seen through life's games. Because becoming that man isn't about chasing women, it's about becoming the kind of man she feels lucky to meet. There's something powerful about a man who walks into a room and doesn't need to announce himself. He doesn't rush to impress, doesn't fight to be seen, yet everyone feels him. That's presence. And older women, especially those who've lived through the noise of immature relationships, find this energy magnetic. Presence is not about arrogance or being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being centered. It's the calm assurance that comes from a man who knows who he is, even when no one is watching. When a woman is around that kind of man, she feels grounded, like her energy can finally relax. Because your stillness gives her safety. See, too many men mistake attention for attraction. They talk fast, overcompensate, flex their success, not realizing that real attraction isn't caught, it's felt. When you're deeply present, you're not thinking about what to say next or how you're being perceived. You're simply there. Your eyes connect. Your body language says, "I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere." And that silent confidence speaks louder than 1,000 compliments. Older women crave that stillness because it contrasts the chaos they've known. Life has already shown them how unstable charm can be. What they long for now is emotional safety, the kind that says, "You don't need to perform for me." When a man carries that energy, she feels seen, not judged, heard, not managed. Presence is emotional leadership. It's knowing that you don't have to fix everything, control everything, or prove anything. Sometimes the most powerful thing a man can do is listen. Let her speak. Let her breathe. Let her be. When you master presence, your silence becomes powerful. Your gaze becomes grounding. Your words carry weight because they come from a place of peace, not pressure. And here's the secret: presence can't be faked. It's built from a man's relationship with himself. The more time you spend alone, reflecting, building your mind and spirit, the more magnetic you become. You start to radiate peace. And peace is irresistible. Because in a world full of men trying to impress, the man who simply is wins. Emotional maturity, that's the quiet superpower most men underestimate. It's not about how many books you've read or how woke you sound when you talk about feelings. It's about how you handle yourself when life doesn't go your way, when she pulls back, when she challenges you, when things don't unfold like your fantasy. Older women, the ones who've lived through heartbreak, divorce, disappointment, can sense a man's emotional temperature instantly. They've dealt with charmers who crumble under pressure and smooth talkers who turn cold the moment they're not in control. What they desire now is emotional steadiness. They want a man who can stay calm in the storm, who can hold his ground without turning cold or cruel. Emotional maturity means you don't chase validation. You don't guilt her into affection. You don't weaponize silence or emotions to get what you want. Instead, you create space for truth, even if it's uncomfortable. You listen, not to react, but to understand. You don't take every disagreement as disrespect. You know that love isn't a battlefield. It's a conversation between two souls learning how to coexist. You see, manipulation is easy. It's a shortcut that insecure men take when they're afraid of being vulnerable. But maturity is strength under control. It's when your peace cannot be stolen by someone else's emotions, you stop needing to win arguments and start caring about connection. You realize that power isn't in control, it's in compassion. Older women find that energy irresistible because it feels safe. Safe doesn't mean boring, it means dependable. It means she can trust your word, your tone, your silence. She knows you won't punish her for being emotional. And when a woman feels safe emotionally, she opens up physically, spiritually, and romantically in ways you can't fake or force. So, learn to regulate your emotions. Don't let anger, jealousy, or ego lead your interactions. When you can face emotional tension with calm confidence, you stand out instantly because that's rare. A mature man doesn't manipulate to get love. He inspires love by being emotionally consistent. And that is what makes a man unforgettable. There's a peace that lives inside a man who knows where he's going. It's not arrogance, it's not control, it's clarity. And that clarity is magnetic. Because when you know your direction, you stop chasing validation and start attracting alignment. Older women, especially those who've lived through uncertainty, crave that in a man. They've dealt with dreamers who never build, talkers who never act, and charmers with no compass. What draws them in now isn't a man with fancy words. It's the man who moves with purpose, the one who says, "This is where I'm heading," and his life reflects it. Direction gives you gravity. It's that invisible force that makes people, not just women, trust you, respect you, follow you. When a man knows his mission, he doesn't need to dominate. His presence leads naturally. Because purpose disciplines your energy. It gives you something higher than your emotions to answer to. When you're lost, everything shakes you: rejection, delay, confusion, other people's opinions. But when you're focused on your vision, you don't chase love to feel complete. You build yourself until love naturally fits into the life you've created. That's power. A man without direction becomes emotionally unpredictable. One day he's confident, the next he's insecure. One day he wants her, the next he's distant. But a man with direction is steady, not because he's perfect, but because his path gives his emotions purpose. Even when he's hurt, he doesn't spiral. He learns, he adjusts, he moves forward. Older women love that energy because it gives them peace. They see a man who's building, not just talking, who has goals that stretch beyond the relationship. That kind of focus doesn't make you less romantic, it makes your love realer. Because it's built on a foundation that doesn't depend on her mood or validation. Direction doesn't mean having all the answers. It means you're seeking them with consistency and courage. You're committed to growth, to learning, to leading yourself before leading anyone else. And when you move with that conviction, when your words, actions, and habits align, she feels it, she sees it, and she quietly decides, this man isn't just passing through, he's building something worth joining. There's a kind of strength that doesn't shout, it reveals, and that's what true vulnerability is. It's not weakness, it's courage. The kind that says, I've been through things, I've made mistakes, but I'm still here. Older women, the kind who've seen life, heartbreak, and healing, are drawn to that authenticity because it feels real. See, so many men hide behind walls of perfection. They think showing emotion makes them less of a man. But what most don't realize is that pretending to be unbreakable actually pushes people away. Vulnerability doesn't mean oversharing or collapsing emotionally. It means being honest about your humanity. When a man opens up, not for pity, but for connection, something shifts. It tells a woman, you can trust me because I'm not performing. And for older women who have seen manipulation disguised as charm, that honesty hits differently. They don't want a perfect man. They want a present man. Someone who isn't afraid to be seen, flaws and all. Vulnerability creates emotional safety. When you share your truth, your fears, your lessons, your dreams, you invite her to do the same. And that's how intimacy is built. Not through fancy dates or smooth lines, but through the quiet moments where both souls say, I see you. But here's the key. Authenticity without boundaries is chaos. Vulnerability must come with self-awareness. You don't dump your pain on others. You own it. You don't bleed on people who didn't cut you. You learn from your scars. And when you speak of them, it comes from healing, not hurt. That's what separates a mature man from a broken boy. Older women feel that energy instantly. They can sense when your openness comes from peace, not need. And when they see that balanced strength wrapped in softness, it draws them in. Because it tells them, you've done the inner work. You've met yourself. So yes, vulnerability takes courage. But it's the bridge between loneliness and real connection. It's the moment she stops seeing you as another man and starts seeing you as her safe place. Because true intimacy doesn't come from perfection, it comes from truth. Respect, real respect, is rare. It's not about sweet words, compliments, or pretending to agree just to get closer. It's about seeing someone for who they are and treating them with the dignity their soul deserves. Older women, especially those who've experienced shallow admiration, crave that kind of genuine respect more than anything else. Flattery is easy. Any man can say, "You're beautiful," or "You don't look your age." But respect is different. Respect says, "I see your strength, your experience, your story, and I value it." It's when you admire her, not because of what she gives you, but because of who she is. Older women can sense the difference immediately. They've been around long enough to know when a man is performing and when he's being real. They don't want to be worshipped. They want to be understood. They want a man who listens, not waiting for his turn to speak, but genuinely paying attention to her words, her silences, her values. Respect shows up in your tone, your patience, your consistency. It's in the way you handle disagreement, not trying to win, but to understand. It's in the way you talk about other women, how you carry yourself when she's not around, how you honor boundaries without needing to be reminded. That's what makes her trust you. And here's the truth. The moment a woman feels respected, she relaxes. She no longer needs to protect herself. She starts to lean in emotionally and spiritually. Because respect creates safety, the kind of safety that builds attraction, not through intensity, but through peace. Flattery feeds the ego, but respect feeds the soul. Older women don't need another man trying to impress them. They've seen it all. What they're drawn to is a man who treats them as an equal, not a conquest. A man who can admire their independence and still be strong enough to lead with humility. When your words carry truth and your actions reflect consistency, she sees it, she feels it, and she knows this isn't a man who just wants her attention. This is a man who values her essence. Because real respect isn't about what you say, it's about how you show up. There's something deeply attractive about a man who moves through chaos without losing himself. A man whose peace cannot be stolen, no matter how loud the world gets.